This is our news, the weekend edition, and on the broadcast tonight, proponents for the criminalization of marital rape confident in the change ahead. Plus, find out how a new piece of legislation may help to keep you more informed. And a traffic fatality recorded on the streets of Grand Bahama.
Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Andrew Knowles, topping the news. As debate has raged over whether government should criminalize marital rape, supporters of a change in law made their case at a conference hosted by the Bahamas Crisis Center. Our Jared Higgs tells us more.
Behind closed doors was the theme of a seminar hosted by the Bahamas Crisis Center addressing the prevalence of domestic and sexual abuse in the country. Among the subtopics were discussions on marital rape and the challenges activists have faced when advocating for its criminalization. Dr. Thompson spent 53 years as a physician, during which time she says she was saddened by the high numbers of domestic and sexual abuse victims she encountered. To make matters worse, the abuser was often a husband.
Most women love their husbands and would be happy to make them happy, but not by force. Not any and every time you feel like it because it's your right. Because women have rights too, and they have the right to say no. And that right needs to be respected, just the way a man can be raped. A man has the right to say no, not tonight. And so we would like to teach people that sex is something sacred, something important in people's lives, and it should be treated with love and respect.
As the government mulls over legislative changes designed to strengthen the offence of sexual intercourse by procuration, Thompson says that over the years, societal attitudes towards spousal abuse have improved slightly. She's encouraged by the government's indications that changes may be on the way, and she's proud that there are activists fighting for equality between husband and wives.
We're in a different era now, a different age, where women can speak out without fear that this is what's happening, this is the reality. I've been abused for many, many years, and I just don't want to have it anymore. And so I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly in the 53 years. But I'm very happy that there is a group of women and men coming up in the society now who are prepared to learn how to respect each other sexually.
Another of the day's speakers was BRENNEN, a marriage and family therapist and counseling psychologist. While insisting that he believes that marital rape should be criminalized, he says the issue is rooted in tradition.
Too many, not everyone, but far too many individuals are being abused by their spouses or abusing their spouses. And our goal is to try to reduce that severely. It'd be good if we can eliminate it. But we have too many traditions, too many myths, too many false concepts about marriage itself that's preventing many men in particular, some women, from treating their spouse as their equal in every way. And so our goal is to help through education our married individuals and even those who are not married in relationships to practice equality and fairness and treat your partner like you would want yourself to be treated.
And unfortunately, people have used the Bible erroneously, I feel, to perpetuate this myth that the man is in control. Whereas society is saying, hey, women have rights too, children have rights too. No child should be subjected to rape. None. You know, they're human beings too. And so this is what we're trying to get across to society, that human rights can go against what even is written in the law. Because laws are not written in stone. They can be changed, they can be amended, and this is what we're working towards.
Reporting for our news, I'm Jared Higgs.
All right, thanks a lot, Jared. As the public consultation phase of the draft Fiscal Responsibility Bill begins, civil society says the Bahamas is getting closer to more transparency and accountability. This, as the proposed legislation is designed to work hand in hand with another important piece of legislation, the Freedom of Information Act. Our KRISTINA DRAGOVICH tells us more.
Members of civil society are applauding government for opening the draft Fiscal Responsibility Bill up for public consultation. Citizens for a Better Bahamas chairman LEMARQUE Campbell says the important piece of legislation works along with another critical piece of legislation, the Freedom of Information Act. However, he notes that there are some important differences.
The one thing about the Freedom of Information Act is that the public, as the public, we have to request information. But this bill is actually different, whereas the government has to proactively release information regarding its finances and how it handles its policy.
Not only will government have to be proactive in reporting information, Campbell says it will also have to be timely.
The government must ensure that any updates to its fiscal policy is uploaded to a government official website. So ongoing and periodic reviews that is conducted by the Fiscal Responsibility Council, the independent body that is in charge of this act, their assessments will be uploaded to the government official website. So we all will be able to see what is going on with regards to the finances of the government.
Campbell, who is also the country representative for Transparency International, says there has to be greater accountability across the board, especially when it comes to how public funds are being spent.
We have a debt now of about $8 billion, and in the past 10 years, that's been, we've amassed a half of that. So it has to be greater accountability, because if the government's going to continue to tax us, the public's essentially funding the government, we have a right to know exactly how the public finances are being managed, and also a right to know that the public finances are being managed in a responsible manner.
To see a copy of the draft legislation, visit bahamas.gov.bs. Reporting for our news, I'm KRISTINA DRAGOVICH.
In other news this evening, a woman is dead following an early morning traffic accident on Grand Bahama. Police say it was shortly before 4 this morning when a gray GMC truck traveling south on East Mall Drive on the eastbound lane with 2 occupants collided into a tree. Now we understand the male driver was taken to hospital in stable condition. However, the female passenger succumbed to her injuries on the scene. Police are investigating and appealing to the motoring public to drive within the speed limit and always buckle up. And we will take our first break here, but still ahead tonight, are Bahamians beginning to see the value of opinion polls? Plus, civil society gears up for a town hall meeting on transparency and corruption in the country. Those stories coming up when our news returns.